Hello and welcome to Midrand out in Johannesburg. Today we are out at the BMW X Drive Park to find out more about the driving experience that BMW brings for lovers of speed, of adrenaline, and just of being a better driver. I'm joined by Matthew Pierce, who is a senior BMW driving instructor. Matthew, hello. Thank you so much for your time. First up, tell me, what does your actual job entail?
Hi, good morning. Good morning to everyone. How to summarize it would be, I don't know, just a transfer of knowledge and skills, having the ability to take such an amazing product and getting people nice and comfortable with various habits that are obviously driving related, and then passing that information on through to them. So, yeah.
And what would you say are some of the biggest challenges that as a senior driving instructor you face when you have different customers coming through and everyone thinks I'm going to be like Michael Schumacher, I'm going to be Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen? What would you say are some of those challenges or difficulties that customers come with?
I think it's definitely setting everybody to a certain expectation and making sure that everybody understands that it's, like anything, going to be progressive. So you've got to start off somewhere, build a solid foundation, and then work your way all the way up to where either we're pushing you and your comfort levels as well as the cars and the products themselves.
For 10 years that you've been doing it, do you also feel like it's a value add just in general for South African drivers? Because I was making a joke with my friends like, oh my goodness, I have to drive in the rain. No one knows how to drive when it's raining, because that seems to be like a real issue in South Africa.
Yeah, I think it definitely does. Firstly, understanding what your capabilities and limitations are as a driver. Understanding the phenomenal technology that is built into the product, and then obviously working with the machine, upskilling yourself. I suppose like anything in life, the more you do, the easier it gets. But to be able to give you a skill set that you can deal with various situations out on a road, yeah, definitely important.
So for someone who's sitting at home and saying, okay, so there's a BMW X Drive Park out in Midrand, why would you say they need to come here and have this experience, and how is it going to aid them as an ordinary driver?
So I think the reason firstly is for you to be able to get exposed and see what BMW and what the product is capable of doing, how it works with you as the driver, the technology and what's gone into it, what the engineers have built and developed. But again, it's just coming back to that upskilling of yourself and developing your skills. Have the ability to understand how the braking system works, emergency lane changes, how much steering can we actually apply, or if I swerve aggressively does not necessarily mean I'm going to lose control of the car. So I suppose it's things like that that are going to make quite a big difference.
And in your line of work, what have you found are some of the biggest misconceptions that an ordinary person stepping into this experience comes with? For example, I know if I feel like my car is skidding, my mind just tells me hit the brakes. I don't know why, but I'm hitting the brakes. What would you say are some of those big misconceptions that just ordinary drivers have when they come into an experience like this of a certain way to drive, which we should actually avoid?
I think the biggest thing that we see is when people get themselves into slightly trickier situations out on the road, like a loss of control or something like that, generally the driver ends up giving up. And we always say you work and drive until you no longer can. So you never give up. Things like emergency-based braking, people are incredibly hesitant to get onto the brakes in the car because they think that when they end up slamming on the brakes, they're going to spin and flip and all of that kind of stuff. But as technology has developed, vehicle technology has grown as well, and we are never going to want to put you in a position where by applying something like the brakes is going to cause you to lose control. If anything, these systems are designed to work directly with you as the driver. So I think to kind of summarize it is actually trusting what the car has the ability to do and how it works with you as the driver.
And as I start to wrap up with you, how important is it, would you say, for us to learn more about the technology that a car comes with? Because as a normal person, I just think I'm just going to drive my car A to B. That's all I need to know. But I wouldn't look at things such as the type of tire settings that are in the car, the type of, is it efficient, is it comfort, is it sport? How important would you say it is for us to familiarize ourselves with just everything that a vehicle comes with?
You know, I think the biggest thing is you want to give yourself the biggest advantage in whatever it is you do. When you buy a new camera, you want to make sure that it has the ability to capture the best quality media or image that it possibly can. It's the same thing with the car. Why wouldn't you want to make your job as the driver just that much easier? Like I say, that technology is designed to work with you, not against you. And that technology can often, or most of the time, actually aid in keeping you super, super safe. So I think a general understanding of your vehicle and what it's capable of is crucially important. And also it develops a bit of a sweet spot for the brand and what the product can do. So yeah.
And finally, my last question to you. From your experience, how many sessions would you say you would prefer your customers or clients to have, just to be able to like be comfortable around the wheel and whatever it is that you're teaching them?
So it's actually quite a difficult question to answer because it's very much dependent on the individual. How long has that person been driving? What kind of habits have they developed? We have clients that come and join us 2-3 days after getting their license, and we've got people who have been driving for 30-40 years. So there's pros and cons to it. I suppose it's like anything. It's the attitude that you go into the training with. If you're willing to learn and you're willing to absorb, can make the biggest difference. It's also just dependent on what it is you want to achieve. But yeah, like anything, I think the more you do, the easier it gets and the more comfortable you'll become.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Matthew Pierce. He is a BMW senior instructor out here at BMW X Drive Park in Midrand. If you want to know a little bit more about your car or how to handle yourself behind the seat to ensure that you have the greatest amounts of safety, or if you're just an adrenaline junkie like myself and just want to come out here, have a good time, this is definitely the place for you to check out. That's where we'll leave it for now.